coming online here in a second. I think we've got a stream here. Okay, we are running full on. So I saw this. Hey there, everybody. This is Tom with Tom's Talk Show. We'll do the little intro here. We're here to talk about kind of the Democrats' war as it is on children. Hey there, everybody, this is Tom's Talk Show, and I did a video the other day, about abortion, kind of my Christian view on abortion, and how really I just see kind of the plight is on, the mother and, the family and all that, and what that does, to to moms, to families, to people's, relationships is, I think, more, important, more tragic than what you're doing in the abortion. Granted, I think, biblically, all abortion is completely wrong. Of course, biblically, premarital sex is wrong. Children should only be within the confines of a healthy, mom and dad family. Is that's straight, out of biblical things. But where we're getting to right now is that I just saw the Democrats have here we go. A little bus outside of the DNC where they are providing free vasectomies and free abortions. So, and all the slots are full. So that's, how happy and wonderful is that for society? So we go back. I mean, I can go back all the way to, of course, biblical time, right? So this is being, biblical about that this isn't anything new. So in the Bible, Leviticus 18:21 says, "You shall not give your offspring and offer them to Molech, nor shall you profane the name of your God. I am the Lord." So what they would do back in those days, they would have this statue that was Molech, and then they would actually sacrifice their children. They'd have extra kids so they could sacrifice them to this, image of who they thought was God. I mean, and then if you look, you think that that was just way back then. That was a long time ago. Well, here, we've seen, Alex Jones and other people go to the Bohemian Grove. Now, this was populated, of course, by both left and right political people. And then they would have this ceremony around this big owl where they would burn in effigy. And they had a play, I guess, where they did a cremation of care kind of sacrificial ceremony to, cremate, to burn children and burn people alive or dead, either way. But it's just that kind of, ceremony kind of thing. So that's, that I think is just brought into, now they've made it sanitized where it's just like, you take a pill, you're done. You get to pop that thing right to Moloch right away. So, I mean, they've said, hey, welcome. They're making it all happy. Welcome. We're here to Chicago. We're so happy, that you can be here and everybody can be here and do all this, kind of crazy stuff. I don't understand, that how much they don't like kids and families. This goes back right to the the 60s, especially in the Black community, where they got equal rights and everything in the 60s, but they built in the method for not having dads in the home, right? Just go in, don't worry about it, just have the kids, and then for the dads to leave. Now that's not all of them. I know many. I've known many black families and been friends with black families for many years who dad was always there every day, being there. And those kids, amazingly enough, those kids turned out to be, you know, really successful, really amazing, really, moving forward, able to better themselves from what their parents were, all of that. I mean, it's just amazing how just having dad, in the home is. I mean, right now, if you are a mother in California with two small children, if you do absolutely nothing, you get almost $70,000 a year in benefits. So you get food stamps, you get just money, you get rent assistance, you get all these things, to help you, with. So where is that supporting people, having intact families? It's not. There's no, it's just so easy. We'll just, have kids and don't worry about it because the government is going to come in and take care of you. And that's part of why, California. And then those kids of the single, I mean, I'll relate this story, right? So growing up, my kid was, had two parents, pretty active in the kid's life. And there was a time when the school we moved right next to our school was, elementary school was right behind the house. And so they, it was a good school, and then it started going downhill. Scores started getting worse and everything else. And we're like, what's going on? This is not good. So the school sent out letters to everybody down to their houses, and they all said, so if we have a deal from the government, if they can move the scores from the school from, below 50% national testing to above 50% national testing, then they would get more money, right? So what we found out was all of the kids that are on this program where the state just gives these single mothers money instead of building this, complete family with mom and dad and the kids, instead of doing that, they just give them money. And so the mother didn't do anything to help the kids. So the school ended up having to buy alarm clocks to get the kids up to get them to school. It got cold where we were living, so they had to end up buying jackets for the kids so they wouldn't be freezing cold out there to try and get them to school. And so they had this meeting. Let's get all these parents together and we'll see what it's going to take to get their test scores up, in the national average. 3 sets of parents showed up to this thing. And the takeaway from the whole meeting was all 3 kids from those 3 sets of parents, us included, all those 3 kids were testing in the 95% nationally. And it was all came down to parent involvement in that. So if you continue to push, get dad out of the home, if you continue to push, don't, just have the kids and the state will help you pay for them, then you're not going to get successful kids. Most of those kids ended up, a lot of kids ended up, in jail, on the street. We had some other kids over in another town close by that, our kid friended and, was hanging out with and everything else. Their parent, whichever one, whether it was mom or dad that they lived with, the only thing they really cared about was their social services money that they would get. So they would, other than that, they would throw the kid. These are like 14, 15-year-old kids. They're on the street. They're sleeping down the street from where we were. And we would go by and it's like, oh yeah, you're, this kid, Joel or James or whoever it happened to be. And just, we knew them from way back in elementary school when they were there. And it's like, well, they don't want me home unless, they're getting, social services there to confirm that they live there and they want their money. So half of the time we would have, them at our house. Sometimes we'd have 3 or 4 in one of the bedrooms, all sleeping on the floor, and we get this knock at the front door, and it's an officer, and that officer would ask, I need to, I'm, here, social services sent me over, and everything else, and we're trying to find out where so and so kid is, and so they'd say, is Joey Smith, whatever, are they here? And we typically would tell them, no, we haven't seen him. Don't worry, he is. I don't, I'm sure he's out somewhere. They might be sleeping on a bench somewhere or something else. Don't know. So the officer would go, thank you, kind of nod his head, turn around, takes 2 steps away, stop, look back and say, but they're okay, aren't they? Because they knew exactly what was going on. And my wife or I, whatever, would tell them, yeah, they're all asleep in the bedrooms. No big deal. So, and the officer would leave because they knew exactly what that is. And that is such a Democrat liberal state pushing this onto your children. That your moms don't need dad, that your kids don't need dads, that a single parent can do it all. Now, I'm not saying that being a single parent isn't easy. It's extremely hard. And if you can do it and make a better life for your kid, awesome. If you're there just to get the paycheck, for when the kid's there, that you only need them for when they're there, and they, get your money from social services just to get your iPhone or whatever you need that month, then you suck. Just plain, you suck. Right? But I know we've known many good we've known people that have had children and then given them up for adoption to a great 2-parent family, and the kids, ended up being awesome. But now we've got, of course, the DNC making sure here that you don't need your kids, right? You don't need that to be fulfilled or happy or anything else. Just get rid of them. My real worry, so they're doing this at the Democrat National Convention, that you can just, little truck, you just drive up, you just get in there. Okay, so if we go to, so what they're giving is the medical abortion is what they're giving. So they give them these 2 drugs, right? You give the woman these 2 drugs, where they're down here, they're mifepristone and with this other misoprostol. These 2 medications. So these 2 medications cause, the fertilized egg and there to not stick against the uterine lining, and then the other one helps to kind of flush it out. So, and here, look at what they're saying, right? So, you take this pill. So let's see, how long does a medical abortion take? Medical abortion takes 2 to 6 hours. So are they just going to give these people these, abortions and then send them off into the Democrat convention? This is supposed to be done under strict medical care, not a drive-by bus. How much do these people just hate children and hate the emotional, lives of the women getting this? Here are the risks. So what are the risks? Failure to end the pregnancy, and it retains the pregnancy tissue. Heavy bleeding that won't stop. So you're going to give people this pill and then just send them off into the DNC or off onto their way home? No, this needs to be under strict medical supervision. I would hate for them to do this and have someone have some very serious complications from this and not survive. That would just be outrageously horrible. But they are on, they are just continuing to be on this path of sacrifice your children over and over and over again. And it just seems, to be a little bit, disingenuous when you're talking about choice and whose choice and whatever. I'm for the, absolutely the biggest choice, which is wait until you're married and you and your wife plan and have children, and then raise those children together and give them the best outcome in their lives. Not rampant sex, not they're giving vasectomies as well, so you can go and have, rampant sex with everybody, spread whatever diseases that you want. So yeah, just insanity in the Democrat Party. I just can't, I don't know. I don't know how you vote for these people, even if you're a person who thinks it's, you know, okay. I mean, there are people who think that it's all okay. I'm not going to convince anybody else otherwise by me talking here, but you can see this kind of thing. I mean, even so we had my other video I did on, abortion was that in Minnesota, there were 5 babies born alive from botched abortions. One of them didn't make it. 2 of them were pre-viable, and 2 of them were perfectly. I mean, my sister does the the preemies. She's a neonatal nurse practitioner, so 2 of them were very rescuable and survivable, and they just let them die. Just I can't even. How do you get past that? Even as a moderate Democrat. If you're a lefty Democrat, you're not listening to this, you're not watching this, you're not doing anything, you're just thinking I'm a wacko, and you're all for abortion up to child that's let's say what children aren't really able to make decisions and really be viable to 3 or 4 years old. So maybe we can wait till then and have the abort them at 4 years old. Right? That one didn't work out. The terrible 2s ran into the horrible 3s, and I didn't want to deal with it anymore. It was emotionally hurting me too much. So, we just let them go. Right. So that's I think where the Democrats want to go. I mean, you combine that with all that with the open border and the massive amount of children coming across being fed directly into child prostitution. There's just those 2 things, right? There's no way anybody should support any of these leftist arguments at all. I mean, this leftist group that's taking over America, it should just be over. I mean, and anyone with a reasonable mind in any I don't care what your political party is, if you just have a reasonable mind of, wow, that's a little extreme. Yeah, it is. That's what has taken over most of the Democrat Party. I mean, Bill Maher pushing back. He's lefty as left as you can get him. How is Bill Maher pushing back on this stuff? I mean, that's, he's saying the real thing out loud, He said the other day, is abortion murder? Yeah, but he's okay with that. Okay? Right? I mean, craziness. I'm just telling you. All right. Well, thanks for watching this. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to try and do some more, every night I've been trying to do another video about what's going on and everything, and just putting that out. And I think I'm going to start live streaming it all on Rumble, and then I'll download it and post it back over to YouTube just to kind of get a good workflow going and everything with these videos and stuff as I start picking it up, getting back into it again. Yeah, I did have some family. If you've watched this long, I'll let you know I did have some family issues. Wife had, broke her ankle, had some surgeries, and my father passed away, stuff like that. So just had to take a little break, but which is fine. We had to take a little break for family, right? I mean, like in Canada, you have a little medical problem. It's like, we'll just give you a pill, put you out, you'll be gone, right? So they're into the death cult up there in Canada in a big way. I think what they saw a thing the other day was the 5th or maybe 6th reason for death in Canada is assisted suicide. That's just the culture of death that is taking over, this continent is just completely insane. So, all right, well, thanks so much for watching, and like, share, subscribe, all this stuff, and talk to you later. Bye.